Good morning and welcome to News Morning here on TV3. I am Enyunam Haliga, coming up in a few minutes. Judge gives lawyers for Ashanti Region's NPP's chairman and state prosecution a July 6 deadline to report on the progress of plea negotiations. Also in this headline, Controller and Accountant General's Department set to begin recovering student loan from thousands of beneficiaries now employed in public service. And much later, President Mahama calls for global support as reparative justice resolution firms up in its next step. We'll start off with some legal issues as lawyers for the NPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Enchibuesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, are hopeful that plea negotiations with the Attorney General will bear fruitful outcomes after the High Court granted the party's request to progress. Ashanti Bernard Enchibuesiako has been charged by defrauding by false pretense, forgery, authoring forged documents and money laundering in a loan negotiation with the Ghana Exim Bank. My colleague Lord Edward Sari has more in this report.
Prosecutors allege that between 2018 and 2022, Wontumi fraudulently obtained 14.3 million Ghana cedis from Exim Bank through false pretenses, using Wontumi Farms Limited as the vehicle for the transaction. Bernard Enchibuesiako is also alleged to have presented a forged receipt to bank officials to support an additional 4 million Ghana cedis facility. Prosecutors further allege that Chairman Wontumi, Thomas Enchibuesiako, and Wontumi Farms Limited intentionally caused Exim Bank to suffer financial loss exceeding 30 million Ghana cedis in the course of the business transaction. The NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman initially pleaded not guilty to the charges preferred against him by the Attorney General. On June 5, however, he, through his lawyers, wrote to the prosecution to request the commencement of plea negotiations. In court on Thursday, June 18, Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai informed the court that he had filed a notice of commencement of the plea negotiations and hence prayed the court for a 2-week adjournment. Andy Apiakubi, lead counsel for Wontumi, corroborated the Deputy Attorney General's remarks and pleaded with the court to grant the prayer. Justice Abdul Basit then directed both the prosecution and the defense to report back to the court by July 6 with the progress of the negotiations. Lawyer for Wontumi spoke after proceedings.
We are very hopeful that by the time we come to the court this next, we will have made some progress and inform the court of what the issues are left outstanding for us to play, to file our plea agreement in the court. The mood in the court in the predisposition of counsel on both sides suggests that we'll be able to reach a mutual settlement quickly for us to file and quickly and be with that will bring the matter to finality.
Meanwhile, in the Summerboy illegal mining case against Chairman Wontumi, his new lawyer, Samuel Atachia, has indicated that he would plead with the High Court to extend the date for judgment, which was initially set at July 3.
Plead with the court for that, because if you want to have fair trial and if you want our input as part of the thinking of the judge, I believe we should enlarge time so that we're able to do what is necessary.
Lord Idasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, following the UN's adoption of the resolution that made the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity, Ghana is advocating for global support to chart a path for the next step of reparative justice. In the view of this, President Mahama has inaugurated a global panel of experts to draft a framework that will guide the implementation of the UN's nation's resolution.
Today we must move from recognition to building the architecture for reparatory justice. To ensure the momentum generated by Resolution ARES 8250 is sustained and translated into practical outcomes, I'm pleased to announce the establishment of 3 global panels which will serve as the pillars of the next phase of this international effort. The first is a global advisory panel on reparatory justice comprising heads of states and governments, eminent leaders and public figures who who will provide strategic guidance to advance international dialogue and cooperation on reparatory justice. The second is an expert panel on the restitution of cultural artifacts, which will support efforts to facilitate the return of all cultural properties, archives, sacred objects, and historical treasures to their rightful communities and countries of origin. And the third is a global legal panel on reparatory justice, which will bring together distinguished jurists and legal scholars to explore legal pathways, deepen legal understanding, and develop approaches that are consistent with international law, human dignity, and justice.
Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa expressed appreciation to countries and leaders who have taken steps to address the injustices of the slave trade.
The significance of this conference extends beyond the discussions over the next 2 days. The decisions, recommendations, and partnerships emerging from this meeting have the potential to shape the future trajectory of the global reparations agenda. We are therefore challenged to think boldly, build bridges across regions, act collectively, and move beyond historical recognition towards sustainable mechanisms to address the ongoing effects of historical injustices. As President Mahama has emphasized, no single institution, nation, or region can advance this agenda alone.
It will be recalled that on March 25, 2026, when the UN resolution was adopted, a number of European countries abstained. Since that time, the likes of France, the Netherlands, Germany, and a few other European countries have taken steps to align their policies with the resolution. And on the back of that, the French government, led by Emmanuel Macron, have formally written to Ghana and to the AU for that matter to tell them of strategic decisions and policies that have been taken to ensure that black people and persons of black origin are given the necessary assistance and reparative justice being sought. The big question on the minds of many who have followed the UN resolution is, what are the next steps? I'm sure that question will be answered at the end of the Next Steps Summit hosted by Ghana, and we'll all get to know when the first artifacts stolen or looted from the continent will be returned and when reparative justice will actually become tangible for Africans and persons of African origin. Martin Esiedu-Data reporting for TV3 News from the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel.
Now, away from that, a new study by UNICEF Ghana has revealed that Ghana is investing too little, too late, and unevenly in children, particularly during the critical early years of life. The report, titled Unlocking Potential Early, Rebalancing Public Spending for Children in Ghana, is the country's first age-based analysis of public spending on children from pregnancy through to age 17.
To the study, children aged 0 to 5 receive only 13% of public spending, despite making up about 1/3 of Ghana's child population. The findings show that while Ghana has made progress in areas such as immunization, under 5 mortality reduction, and pre-primary education, major gaps remain in nutrition, birth registration, child protection, and social welfare services. UNICEF says public spending remains heavily concentrated in education, which receives 3.1% of GDP, while social protection, health, and child protection sectors receive significantly less funding. The report comes as Ghana begins implementing its early childhood care and development policy.
What is really important here is that the evidence now shows that some countries have chosen to invest in early years. In Ghana, we have 73% of kids who are multidimensionally poor, and from that group, we have from 0 to 5 it's 80% who are poor. So it's actually the most vulnerable group. We need to be intentional to address that group, bring them on board, every child of that group, and we have a very good opportunity in that through the recently launched ECCD policy. It will bring a lot of results for children of Ghana and also for the human capital of Ghana and the prosperous and peaceful society for Ghana.
Researchers estimate that a comprehensive child-focused investment package costing about 7.2% of Ghana's GDP could eliminate child poverty within 3 years. The investment could also prevent up to 18,000 premature child deaths, significantly reduce child stunting, and ensure full vaccination coverage nationwide. In addition, the package is expected to improve school readiness among children, laying a stronger foundation for learning and long-term national development.
Of our headline stories now, as the Comptroller and Accountant General's Department is set to begin recovering student loans from thousands of beneficiaries who are now employed in public service. The move will affect about 4,000 graduates, is aimed at ensuring that the sustainability of the student loan scheme and making funds available for future generations of students.
For many Ghanaian students, the student loan scheme has been a lifeline, easing the financial burden on families and providing hope for access to higher education. However, as demand for the facility continues to grow, concerns have emerged about the fund's long-term sustainability. Speaking to a cross-section of tertiary students in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the Student Loan Trust, Dr. Sajida Shiraz, stressed the need for stronger partnerships and innovative funding strategies to keep the program afloat.
I'm happy to say that we have disbursed 127 million Ghana cedis in enhanced loans directly to 46,679 students across public and private institutions in Ghana. And by doing so, we have effectively ended the cycle of failed full-year disbursements that had for far too long undermined public confidence.
The Comptroller and Accountant General also revealed that 4,000 former beneficiaries have been identified on the government payroll.
We have already identified over 4,000 beneficiaries on the government payroll through the collaboration with the trust. And in the coming days, we will engage the trust to agree to the modalities of implementing these deductions. We envisage that these deductions will become one of the important statutory deductions on beneficiary salaries, alongside existing obligations such as Senate and PAYE.
Other speakers at the event underscored the critical role the student loan scheme continues to play in reducing financial pressure on parents and guardians while expanding access to tertiary education. The trust also disclosed that more than 50% of the loans disbursed have gone to persons living with disabilities, reinforcing its commitment to supporting vulnerable groups.
Away from that, more than 90% of vehicles used in Africa are imported by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, says the Africa Continental Free Trade Area could help reverse the trend by positioning the continent as a major automotive manufacturing hub.
The AFCFTA aims to create a continent-wide automotive value chain, enabling African countries to specialize in vehicle assembly and the production of parts and components while trading more freely with one another. The initiative is expected to attract investment, create jobs, and reduce Africa's dependence on imported vehicles. Speaking at the opening of an executive short course on Africa's automotive value chain potential on behalf of the Chief Director at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Acting Director for Industry, Kwesi Ofori Entry, said industry players must stay abreast of developments within the rapidly evolving automotive sector.
A single market of 1.4 billion people with a combined GDP exceeding $3 trillion provides a demand-side foundation for economies of scale that previously eluded African manufacturers. But the AfTA cannot deliver on its automotive promise if policymakers and negotiators do not understand the sector deeply.
Meanwhile, Head of Development Cooperation at the German Embassy, Johanna Klotz, says Africa's growing automotive industry presents an opportunity for the continent to become a significant player in electric vehicle production.
Africa can be more than just a sales market. It can be a production base with regional value chains. And you have even one big advantage over the German industry. By building a car industry focused on electrical vehicles from the start, you could leapfrog and be much more innovative than an industry that needs to reinvent themselves.
The Parliamentary Select Committee on Local Government Rural Development has tasked all 29 Metropolitan Municipal and District Assembly in the Greater Accra region to invest in preventive measures before the rainy season, rather than waiting until the rains set in before taking action. Chairperson of the committee, Quinsta Mamipokwa Soya, explained that a communique will be issued to ensure that MMDCs understand the issues relating to flooding must be treated with the urgency they require. A report by George Quinnan.
All 29 Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies MMDAs in the Greater Accra region were required to justify how they had utilized funds from the District Assembly's Common Fund and the Disability Fund, as well as outline measures being taken to address flooding in their respective jurisdictions. From Ayawasu East and Ayawasu North to Tema and Lankwantanan, Assembly executives explained how drains and streams had been dredged and they silted to allow for the free flow of water. There were also concerns about disparities in the disbursement of the District Assembly's Common Fund.
The challenge we still have, the investment in that is not really feasible, is my answer. So we have communities 12, 11, 10, 6 within my metro. If you stretch to Tema West, communities 5, 2, and 3 see under distress because of the encroachment on the Ramsar.
Ranking member of the committee, Francis Asensu-Bwachi, noted the need for assemblies to prioritize the welfare of persons living with disabilities.
There are 3 things that we should focus on. First of all, value for money. Are we receiving the expected quality and quantity of work for the resources invested? Secondly, sustainability. Are there adequate plans for the maintenance and long-term management of these facilities that we are putting in place? And thirdly, are these projects addressing real community needs and improving the quality of life of the people we represent?
Chairperson of the committee, Quinsta Mamipokwa Soya, urged MMDCs to take flooding issues seriously and not wait until the rain set in before taking action.
The flooding issue has also become a huge issue for this committee now. You can see everybody is, and most of the places are flooded. I think we would have to take our sanitation to another level, and then there should be a communique for MMDCs to understand that that should be a priority, not through the rainy season, but then through they would have to do a lot of work before the rain starts.
The MMDAs were further tasked to ensure that allocated funds are used for their intended purposes, with the committee expressing concern that the Disability Fund is often not given the attention it deserves.
Some sports news now, as Ghana's first choice goalkeeper, Lawrence Atizigi, is racing against time to face England next in the second Group L fixture at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Saints' gallant Gloveman was substituted during the first half break in Wednesday's 1-0 win over Panama in Toronto. My colleague Orekwan Pofu has more in this report.
Despite celebration after Ghana's 1-0 win over Panama for their 2026 World Cup opener, one area of concern could not complete a game. Now, for those of us who had the benefit of being at the BMO field in Toronto, what we did notice was that he went down twice in the first half, and it looked like he was holding his groin area. In and around the first half, we saw Benjamin Asare warming up with goalkeeper's coach Gaspar. Now, Gaspar consulted Atizigi at halftime, and Atizigi had a grimace on his face. It's almost like he was at the point of almost crying, and it wasn't a surprise to see him come off at the beginning of the second half for Benjamin Asare to come into goal. What we did hear at the mix zone after the game is that it is a groin injury, and for Atizigi, it's a disappointing time for him, because remember, he was out of the picture for the number one, where Otoado stated publicly that Benjamin Asare was his new number one, especially during the World Cup qualifiers. However, he seems to, that's Atizigi, he seems to have reclaimed that spot back, because under Queiroz, we've seen him start the 2 games against Wales, and then also the opener against Panama. And he's done really well with some top saves. And so it's quite unfortunate that the injury has had to come at this time. The update that we're hearing from camp here at 3 Sports is that the player says that he is feeling better. As to whether that means he's fit enough to play against England in just a few days' time, that would be difficult to tell. But however, what we do know is that if you're looking at groin injuries, even a grade 1 tear takes 1 to 3 weeks. And so if it's somewhere around that, then his World Cup potentially could be in jeopardy. Anything above that, you're looking at months. And so it's a difficult time for Atizigi, and we'll be waiting for more updates on that. Concerning the team, what we do know is that they resume training later at their camp base in Rhode Island, where it's expected to be a recovery session. Benjamin Asare will train with the team, and in any case, if Atizigi is not available, he will deputize like he's done in the qualifiers in post, especially ahead of the game against England. Rico Ampopo reporting from Toronto for 3 Sports.
And that's how we end News Morning here on TV3. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyuna Palika. New Day continues.
What are you doing? And he found the sound he was making interesting. So we said, okay, that's the case. Then he recorded it and put it at the back and at the front. So he just was like, oh no, it just makes it up in a song. So he just keeps running through the song.
You know, beyond the lyrics and the melody, I also love the clip I just saw. I don't know whether it was shot at dawn or around sunset.
It could be effect too. It could be effect. It could be effect. But it's nice. It's beautiful. I mean, yeah.
And the human beings appearing in the shadow form, and it's nice.
Really.
What's up this morning?
I mean, it's a Friday. The Black Stars give us a lot of joy on Wednesday into Thursday.
You're still celebrating. You're still in the celebration mood.
Yes.
Nice.
I mean, see, it's the World Cup. And there was something the coach said that I found interesting, the Ghana coach. He said that the World Cup, getting a victory comes very difficult. And because of the new format, if you get 3 or 4 points, you stand a chance of qualifying. And Ghana, the group that we find ourselves in,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. And it's interesting because, you know, from the analysis, we all were thinking that Panama will be the easiest opponent that we are likely to defeat.
I was expecting like 5-0. So yesterday.
Do you know that the Panama team would also think same of us?
They actually did.
Yeah, they also think that amongst the teams that we are playing against, because they have to play Ghana, they have to play England, they have to play Croatia. So they will also be saying that, Charlie, yes or no,
they actually said the same thing. Yes.
In Tebe versus in Tebe.
And I was actually surprised they thought of themselves as beating Ghana.
And then they were the better team, especially for I think most parts of the game, the first half especially, and some 20 minutes into the second half as well. But eventually, at the end of the game, the statistics that matter most is the scoreline.
Thank God for Caleb Yunchi.
Yes, I mean, and Antoine Semenyo as well.
But you know the one I am dreading to watch, the one with England.
It's just on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm dreading to watch them
because the final one will be on Saturday. It will be a very difficult game. I watched the England game against Croatia. England won by 4 goals to 2. They were very, very dominant, and I was saying that, I don't think we stand a chance against.
Until later when I settled and I was like, oh, that's really bad. Yeah, that's really bad. But yes, I think that there's a lot we're going to be talking about this morning. Of course, the old conversation and topic has come back again about how many teachers the country lacks. I think the Education Minister has reiterated that point again, that we lack about 90,000 teachers. Again, this is coming at the same time where the reason for the problem is because we have a fiscal challenge. And I think about 2 months ago or so, when it came up, we actually had agenda on it. And we had Kofi Asare, the PTA secretary, and we had the labor experts, Austin Game, join us in studio. And really, all of them were with the consensus that we don't even need to pay the teachers' allowances, because if you calculate how much we're paying them, that could pay a number of teachers that, you know, we are saying we don't have money to pay as a result of that. We don't have enough teachers in our classroom. So I'm quite intrigued why it's coming up again at this time, just a few weeks after it came up. And of course, the warning to WASI students as well.
Yes, I mean, we understand there was a bit of a situation at the Boku Senior High School where the students, because of the examination strictness by the lecturers, the teachers decided to go on rampage, and they've destroyed cars and various items belonging to the school. Very, very unfortunate story there. It's one that we can also look at. You can call in when we open the phone lines and share your views with us. But there's a bit of a developing story we've been following for a while, the Salaga baby theft story. Yes. And it's one that I think we would open the phone lines for people to call in and talk to us about. It's a story that raises questions about security in our health facilities. And last week, I was telling Cookie that I had been to a number of health facilities in the country at very odd hours, and because of emergency situations, or you're going to check on someone because of the time.
In Accra here?
Yeah, in Accra. Some of them were private, and I was telling her that it was an eye-opening about how security is non-existent. I was telling her that you could, if you know the ward that the patient is in, you could enter and you go straight and you end up in that particular room. In fact, it's even more disturbing when you've gone before. It's more easier. So like you've gone there before and they've directed you, you come again and you are just like, oh, may be so, and they'll be like, just go.
It's like, a general sense of lack of security, if I may put it, because I can tell you that when you're in communities and you're like, oh, I'm looking for, oh, wait, mami, how? Or people just give directions, and then sometimes you meet strangers and then you ask them, where do you live? And they will tell you exactly where they live. And I'm like, you need to protect yourself. When, a few times when I've had conversations with people, I mean, you strike conversations and they think that, oh, at least we are getting on, so you should tell me where you live. And I'm like, why do you want to know where I live? They get quite surprised because it's not the norm. People just easily tell strangers where they live, direction to people's homes. And it's really, I don't know how we can, again, people will say that we need to educate people. So I don't know whether that is what will work, but it's a general sense of people really not being conscious about
the
I think environment and the security implications of things.
Yeah, and I also think there's a part about communal, more or less, protection that has died down a bit, because I remember growing up, we all virtually knew who lived everywhere. So if when there was a stranger in the neighborhood, you know, someone quickly will be like, what are you doing here? Who are you looking for? There's a story I remember some 2 years ago that a colleague shared with us about how during the daytime, he had just moved into an area. He was living there. During the daytime, someone went with a truck. He went into the building and packed everything, like everything. His television sets, sofa, kitchen, cooking items, everything, packed it into the Kia truck and drove out.
And nobody said anything to him?
The only person who asked the question, he said that, Otuefia.
And it wasn't true?
It wasn't true. It wasn't true. I mean, I can't imagine that happening way back when I was growing up. Because, then someone would have called and said, Auntie Beatrice, now, then I also.
Yeah,
I mean, how would a person
if I'm moving, I will be there to pack my things.
Yes. They packed everything from his home. Everything from his home, and they took it out. And so, and especially for the health facilities, I mean, it's for people to be in how and it's like I even fear for even the hospital and sometimes to the way we do our farmer nyame and those things, because this is like borderline negligence. The woman has given birth. The woman has given birth and she's under the care. We are told that she wasn't well, so she was receiving treatment, and the child is in the custody of the facility, the hospital. They are taking care of the child, and she wakes up and she's been told that the child cannot be found. How?
And you know, forgive me, but I saw there was a story from the management that suggested that they were traumatized that this had happened. I'm not saying they shouldn't be traumatized, but you're responsible for protecting somebody's baby. I mean, carrying a child for 9 months, going through all of that, and then just within hours, this baby is gone. I want to agree with the family that they should be protesting. Unfortunately, those who are on admission at the place, I don't know how large the place is, if they are built in a way that they could admit patients, but those who are there and those who will be needing OPD services will be bearing the brunt of the protest and the lack of peace in that place. But this is absolutely unacceptable.
Yes, and I think that their family, I mean, this is unsolicited advice, but the family will need to seek counsel and take steps to be making demands of the managers of the hospital and the state for that matter. I mean, if it's a public hospital, because we can't keep having this happening. And I mean, there are 2 people who have been arrested.
They were even granted bail yesterday. Well, per our laws, you can't keep somebody beyond certain hours.
And I mean that's. But the fact remains that even listening to the police investigate, the police commander. I remember the day after the incident, we spoke to the police commander, and you clearly see that they are really not making any headways with regards to the investigation. And these are not 2 people that they've been able to meaningfully connect to the crime. It's just the case that they were the 2 on duty.
Yes.
So they were the ones who were responsible for the baby.
Yeah.
And one said she had gone to print something. The other 2 said she had gone to take care of.
But the police already said that those stories did not add up. So I'm wondering why we don't seem to have made progress. Perhaps there's some progress we are yet to hear. But when I hear the hospital administrator, he keeps saying that, oh, they found a young lady standing there and somebody asked her, what are you doing here? And she said she was waiting for somebody. I mean, anyway, I just hope that the police...
I can't put myself in the shoes of the parents of the child. I mean, you carry the child for 9 months. You look forward to seeing the child, and the child pops up and is gone within seconds.
Yeah.
Is the child still alive?
Yeah.
Is the child receiving the needed care?
Yeah.
Who has the child? Who is taking care of the child? Or the child has been used for rituals, or like so many questions will be on your mind, and you just be in a state of worry and anxiety and everything. I mean, it's very
we
tough.
had Christopher Mwako telling us that while she was still on admission, I think she's been discharged now. She was taking through some psychological care, but how sustainable is that? And I mean, they may take you through the preliminary care, but you're going to live with this for a very long time. I don't know how she'll be able to get over it. But I think that there should be some sort of conclusion. There should be really a closure to this. They should find the baby. There should be some answers.
I mean, so this is a topic that you can call in very shortly. We'll activate the phone lines for this morning's segment. You can call in and share your views with us. I mean, we can ask a question about what do you think should be really done to improve the security situation in our facilities, and particularly the baby theft issue. We'll share some data with you to see how it's looked over the period. I think the most famous one would be the Sue Bar. I don't remember the name.
The one at the Mamprobi area?
Yeah. No, that one was even recently. This one is from way back some years ago. I mean, I was way back some years back. I think happened in the Ashanti region as well. I mean, very disturbing story. The woman virtually said that the baby had been stolen. She gave the hospital hell. It became a national issue and all of that. I mean, we'll show you a bit of the data and what has been happening around that period. And it's one story that you can call in and share your views with us. Much later on, the big issue, we'll touch on the teacher issue. We'll also discuss a bit of update on the Chairman Wontumi situation. That has also come up quite strongly over this week. The court has given a green light for the negotiations to begin between the Office of the Attorney General and Chairman Wontumi with regards to the Exim Bank matter.
I don't know what you think of the decision to go for a plea bargain on this one. I don't know.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we've had, I think there's a matter that we have handled where we went for a plea bargain actually, but at a point in time, what came out of it, we didn't find to be satisfactory, so we didn't really accept it. So, I mean, it's not automatic that both sides will necessarily agree. Sometimes, even the person who is initiated it, in this case, Chairman Wuntumi's legal team, could, eventually, after the discussions, come to the decision that, well, what is being proposed, they do not like it, and so they want to go through with the trial. But all
the crux of the matter is that opting for a plea bargain eventually means that you're not going to be prosecuted. even if you were found guilty?
Not necessarily. It takes various forms. So one form could be that the state will decide not to prosecute you at all. One form could be that you plead guilty to a lesser offense. One form could be that you actually plead guilty to the offense that you've been charged with. Then once that takes place, you do some restitution basically. So this one, it becomes crucial because it's financial crimes.
But he already pleaded not guilty.
At the start of the trial.
How is it going to turn out if he eventually pleads guilty to it?
Because you've decided to take advantage of the plea bargain in law. You decided to take advantage and decided that, well, this is what you want to do. Sometimes, and last week I was making a point that it does not necessarily mean that the person is admitting to committing a crime. I say so in quotes because sometimes there are people who, so for instance, minor traffic offense, you are being prosecuted and you take the view that instead of wasting your time and going to court every day, I'm guilty, even though you think that you are not. But it could also mean the other way around, that you actually genuinely know that you are at fault, and for that which reason you decided that you want to settle this matter once and for all. But I mean, we'll discuss all of that on the updates on the big issue segment. But I think we can cross over to the other side and have you call in and share your views with us on the Salaga baby theft story. The update is that the Tamale court has granted them the two suspects, accused persons who are being held in relation to this particular matter. They've been granted bail as is allowed under law. But the bigger conversation has to do with what we can do to improve the security in our facilities and how we can end this baby theft matter once and for all. You can call into the show and share your views with us as we begin this morning segment.
Was brought to our attention, myself and the medical superintendent, whilst we were on our way to Salaga. So quickly we informed the staff to make a formal report to the police because this is something strange to us. As a hospital, we have never experienced this situation. So we had to report to the police for the police to take it up. What Salaga Hospital is known for, in fact, is taking care of abandoned babies that have been abandoned and brought to this institution. So it was something that was very traumatizing and worrying to the hospital management. And then the management felt that they should involve the police. So this incident was also reported to the Regional Director of Health Services. And as we talk, the Regional Director has constituted a team who are on their way to Salaga to also come and assess the situation and get the facts and circumstances surrounding the whole incident. We have engaged the family. Yesterday, the atmosphere was so tense, but as time went on, when things were calm, we engaged the relatives, and then we expressed our disappointment at the whole issue, and we took them through counseling. The woman too has also been taken through counseling, and she's attending to treatment well. She's doing well. This morning, she was reviewed, and she's even walking around. Our interaction with the midwives confirmed that there was a young lady that was loitering around, of which they even questioned her what she was doing there. But then she said she was waiting for somebody. Somebody has asked her to wait there, and that she was waiting for the person. And the young lady, they described her and all that. So we are looking at it, how we can put that information together to see how we can give this information out so that together we'll see how the public can help and support the hospital to unravel the situation and help bring back this baby.
And you just watched the administrator of the Salaga Government Hospital giving us updates, not recent. He actually spoke to the press just after the incident was reported, giving us the preliminary engagements that the facility had with the family and really what they intended to do next. And yes, we were talking to you about the Salaga baby theft yesterday, like we were saying earlier. Two of the individuals who were picked because they were officials on duty were granted bail, and we believe that investigations will continue. But like we said also on the other side of the studio, we did say that we'll be bringing you data as regards how many baby thefts we've had and whether or not there have been any conclusions on these incidents. My colleague Joseph Akable is just by the dashboard to bring us an update on that. Joseph, really just bring us an understanding. I think that you have the data between 2024 and this year, 2026. Yes. Let's see how bad the situation is.
I mean, very, very disturbing. And mind you, this is just a 2-year period, and you see what the numbers look like. If we had gone even a bit further, it would have been worse. But we are just sticking to the 2-year period. And what we are doing is that we are tracking how the incidents occurred. We are also looking at whether there's been resolutions. We're also going to tell you how it spread across the country. And an interesting pattern emerges eventually once we do that. So let's start off right here. And this is a summary of everything as we look at it. One-stop shop, everything that we are looking at within a period under review. And so what we have here is that there are 10 reported cases so far. These are confirmed abductions or incidents that have been investigated nationwide. Now, what we are doing here is to look at the incident locations. Not all of them are taking place in hospitals as you have them be. There are 4 cases that have taken place in hospitals in the period under review. We've had also 3 cases at markets as well. Then we've also had other 3 cases taking place at home. So that makes up the number 10. And the period that we are reviewing is a 24-month period, June 2024 to June 2026. And the cases that we are looking at are 10 cases so far. So that should tell you that, well, it does appear that hospitals are slightly in the lead, but you also have public places, the markets as well, and people's homes as well, private places also coming under attack in terms of this particular incident. Now, this is the spread across the country in terms of how it looks in the various regions. And you see Greater Accra up there as well, but first on the top is the Central Region doing 3 cases, the Central Region doing 3 cases, Greater Accra Region 2 cases reported within a period under review as well. Then you have Upper West, Ashanti, Northern, Western and Savannah, 1 case. And so we see that 50% of all reported cases are concentrated in just the 2 coastal regions of Greater Accra and Central Region. So just Greater Accra and Central Region, you see the cases being concentrated there. So 5 of them actually, if you do the math there, 3 plus 2, 5 out of the 10 cases that we are looking at taking place within the Greater Accra and the Central Region as well. Now, we are looking at how the incidents have played out from 2024 to the mid-2025. And we see first and foremost here, July 2024, Kaswa in the Central Region. The suspects claimed the newborn had died at the polyclinic. 3 persons were arrested after this particular news broke out there. Then in Greater Accra, February of 2025, a 7-month-old baby was taken from a Kaya mother by a helpful stranger. The story was that the stranger had come in claiming to help the mother and took away the baby. Very disturbing story. Jumako Market as well, the Central Market, 11-month-old abducted suspect Rebecca Ofori identified via CCTV as well. And the Wa Market in the Upper West as well, 1-week-old stolen by a suspect posing as hospital caretaker. That baby was rescued. So that is some good news that came out in the August of 2025 as well. Now we are moving on a bit to the late 2025 to 2026, and we also see here Agogo in the Ashanti region. A newborn was taken during a postnatal washroom break, was found eventually safe. Good news there. Bogoso Western region, mother befriended, 8-month-old taken, the matter proceeded to the Takwa Circuit Court. Then Kaswa, the Central as well, trafficking ring dismantled after an infant had been sold for 35,000 cedis. Can you imagine? One human being, 35,000 cedis. How? Tamale Northern region, suspect poses as nurse at One Heart Hospital. A guard and nurses were investigated. Then the Mamprobi one as well. A fake nurse steals a 4-day-old baby recovered at Kolebu. That story we all remember. That story very, very well. We went to the community.
Yeah, what we were talking about earlier.
Yes, we went to the community. We spoke to even the relatives of the woman.
I think it was a sister who gave her away.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, she saw it on TV and she said that the sister had gone to the hospital and come back with a baby and all of that. And so that was a very disturbing story there. The Salaga situation, East Gonja Hospital, the newborn is still missing. We know that the midwives were initially remanded, but they've been subsequently granted bail. Now, so in terms of a summary, just to something nice to let you see everything just at a go, once and for all. 10 abductions. Those who have been rescued or reunited are those at the One Market, Agogo, Kaswa, Mamprobi, and Ajumako. The active court or arrest, Bogoso, Kaswa, Polyclinic, and the Accra situation. And they're still missing East Gonja District Hospital is the one that we are looking at now there. So very interesting bit of data that we have for you. And this,
but you know, it just emphasizes some of the points we were talking about earlier. You talk about, so 50%, right, of the babies were rescued or reunited. It means that 50% of the case has been unresolved.
Yes.
And again, I was making a point about how it seems we don't have high alertness, as it were, when it comes to security within our communities, and how people need to be very conscious of the environment and of their security. It didn't happen just within hospitals. It happened at the market. It happened in the homes. And so, again, if we don't reorient ourselves, then somebody will just be in the community and just do anything.
Yep.
And you told the story of somebody packing everything from from another person's home, and nobody really saying anything except one question, and the answer really that made the person easily go away. So again, do we have to get NCC coming in again? Then it seems like, it looks like every point we need to educate people.
Yeah.
But if that is what it would take for us to bring people to that level of a security consciousness, we need to do it, because this is really not restricted to hospitals. It's in our homes, it's in our markets. So at every point, I've heard parents say that when you have a little child, especially when they start crawling, you need to have your eyes everywhere, because the next moment the baby is with you, just the next second the baby is crawling towards danger or something. So it's a 360 kind of thing.
I mean, just to add to that point, I mean, there's the trend we are actually seeing. These are actually babies who have not even started moving around. So yes. I mean, I think there's a part of the investigative angle that we need to be try and get into the mindset of those who are picking them and what they are using them for. At least the ones that we recovered. I think there should be some investigative report that tries to get into the psyche, because sometimes it is only by understanding why people do what they do.
That is true.
Unfortunately for us in our criminal system, we don't do motive largely. I mean, we just infer the criminal mind to be present as an element and proceed. Yeah. But sometimes when we are able to unravel the motive, why are they taking the children at those ages? Yeah. Was the aim to do rituals? Was the aim to sell them to people who are in need of children, for instance? And that would also mean that we also have to ask a question about our birth registry as well. Because if it is nearly impossible just to register a child anyhow, you are likely to reduce the motivation of people taking people's children. Because if you take someone's child, it would mean that you will virtually not be able to register that child.
Exactly, because the baby would have been registered just after they were born.
Yes, but if there is the possibility that you can pick a child, and that child, you hold on to the child and the child gets registered, because the unresolved cases, it means that some of them, the babies are like 2 years now. So those children potentially are growing up, they'll get Ghana card, they'll get all of those documentations. But it should get to the level where it's difficult or impossible for you to get such documentation as it pertains in other jurisdictions. You cannot just spring up out from nowhere and get a state document that identifies you properly as an individual. So maybe it's also another aspect of the conversation that we can look at.
For the NHIA and the Birth and Death Registry to look into. Exactly, yes. Yeah, but anyway, so this is the data we've given you. Unfortunately, 50% of the cases that we brought to you not resolved. But I think there's some more. Okay, all right. So the data is done. But call in. The phone lines, I believe, are activated now. Call in and share your thoughts with us, where you think really we've gone wrong and what we need to do, not just as security agencies or hospital authorities, but also as individuals, as Ghanaians, what we need to do in terms of our security consciousness in protecting our babies, what kind of systems we need to put in place. And just the latest bit coming in about what the NHIA and perhaps the birth and death registry need to do to ensure that we are able to even stop it at the very beginning. You can't steal a baby and go and re-register the child. So call in and share your thoughts with us, bearing in mind that we're having this conversation, of course, with the latest coming from the Salaga area and the fact that the family, we are told, is going to be protesting at the facility. The two officials who were arrested from that hospital were granted bail yesterday. The family says that it would insist on ensuring that they find the baby and reunite the baby with the mother. So call in and share your thoughts with us. But I want to believe that a number of you have already sent us your messages. Yes, and this is coming from Abbas of Finso. He says this baby stealing these baby stealings becoming one too many in Ghana. Health workers must get serious and stop paying more attention to money. Greetings to Dr. Frank Amwakohini, Ashanti Regional Minister, for his good works. We do have our first caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning segment on Newday on TV3. Please share your thoughts with us. First of all, your name, where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from, and share your thoughts with us.
I'm called Awumbila John.
Okay. Hi, Paul.
Calling from Boko.
Yes, sir. Okay. How is Boko this morning? Yesterday, there was an issue at the senior high school there. I hope the place is calm
Boko
now.
is cool. Yes.
Yes, sir. Please share your thoughts with us, John. Hello.
Boko is cool. I have my greetings from Overlord of Osao, the Dugulana Bokunaba Sigre Borago, the Azokare second.
Hello, John.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Please go ahead.
With the baby theft, it's something worrying. It is not the best. If you look at the whole system, it is the management. The management need to put a measure, security measures, to control these things. Imagine a woman carrying a baby for 9 months and some days to give birth to a child, and the child cannot be found. It is the negligence of the nurses on duty and the management. We need to put a measurement to the strict. Not everybody should be coming in. People are using God matter. For example, the Muslims, let him visit this and get a blessing. Let him visit the sickness and get blessing. And have bad intentions. Excuse me to say so.
All right.
And the investigation right now, let's say that the police can be able to come up with facts. Right now, we don't know whether the child is alive. So may God bless you people and bless our Ghana and our great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, calling us from Boko. God bless you too. And thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts with us. Aziz Dola Wa in the Upper West region. But before I even read the message from Aziz Dola, if you're in Salaga, you're a resident of Salaga, you know of what has happened, or you've got your thoughts on what has happened as regards the baby theft, call us and share your thoughts with us and how you as members of that community, you're feeling about what is happening, and indeed the response of the hospital management as well as the police. But we do have Abu Al-Hassan on the line. Good morning to you, Abu. Thank you so much for calling us. Please tell us where you're calling us from and what you think of what we're discussing this morning.
Yeah, thank you, my sister. And what I just wake up and see this in
Abu, forgive me, if you would kindly speak up a little bit, struggling to hear you.
I said I just wake up and I see the decision. And what you have wrote, baby stealing cases in Ghana. Yeah, I could remember far as 19 or 1870, 18 thereabout, 1980 something thereabout. There was no technology, but this thing was not more dangerous like today that we have technology. So I don't see anybody to come in, especially the management and the nurses, because we are all looking for money. Sometimes, maybe I'm a midwife and I'm working at this hospital. I can give information without my colleague notice. So the management, we're supposed to hold them responsible. Even if it is a minister, we have to hold minister accountable. Not ordinary person. You can be in a hospital while a baby cases will continue happening. But please, my sister, your name. So I just want to call your name and give you some narrow example.
All right. Thank you so much, Abu, for calling in. Obviously, so far.
I said your name.
My name is Beatrice Edu.
Edu.
Is it your first time calling?
Yeah. I have been watching your show, but this is today is the opportunity for me to get you online.
It's great to have you. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you.
But I'm pleading with you, with your sister stations, so that they shouldn't allow this case to rest. Because even afterwards, we hear such reports, but it was not on the hospital. But police able to try and arrest the person and bring the baby to the mother. But these cases, due to the management, from the security over there to the CEO or the director, whoever responsible to the hospitals. So MFA or what is your name? I don't know, but that is my issue from Abu Alasan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abu, calling us from Wa. And I was going to read to you a message from Aziz Donla, who also sent us that message from Wa as well in the Upper West region. Says, I'm just imagining the kind of atmosphere and condition this innocent little baby will be in. Ghana Health Service and Ministry of Health should implement CCTV cameras in all district and regional hospitals to help salvage this tragedy. This situation. Indeed, stealing of babies is pure witchcraft. Good morning to my incredible boss, Professor Mahmoud Khalid and Alhaji Al-Hassan Agbangu, aka The Lion, Aziz Dola, sending in that message from Wa in the Upper West region. Prince Henry Koforidia says, baby theft in the country is very disturbing. Staff at health facilities must be up and doing, and where securities are not placed must be placed. Those who will be found guilty in this case must be dealt with well so that it will become a deterrent to others. And thank you very much, Prince Henry Koforidia. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
My name is Nasigri Basani, calling from Suman Aduni district.
Okay, I'm not sure I got that, but please go ahead with your point.
Go ahead.
Please tell us what you think about what we're discussing this morning.
Yes, the issue this morning is a baby theft. And my suggestion is that we have to strengthen and make the law applicable so that every perpetrator involved should be brought to book. This thing is now becoming. And because we are not applying the law, people relax and enforcing the hospital laws. Even sometimes you go to hospital and you are talking to them, they don't even see you to be a human being. Madam, my second issue is, so now, as you are sitting, we don't even have a single midwife to take care of these my beautiful women, ladies, mothers. So I'm using this opportunity to appeal to the Minister of Health to also have a look at that issue. That's so
in the Mampugumo Adure district, we don't have a single midwife taking care of our mothers. Thank you very much. That is my question.
Thank you so much. And that's a very valid point he's made. I remember many years ago when I did a documentary about sick hospitals. That was the title of the documentary. And I traveled to rural areas. I remember when I went to the Upper West region, and the place I went to find the person I spoke to was Jirapa. There was only one doctor in the entire region at the time. And you know, medically, you're not even supposed to attend to your very close family members. He had to deliver his wife as well.
I mean, because there was
yes, he was the only doctor.
No option.
Yes. So, I mean, that's a very important point he made. But let me read this perhaps before you come in, Joe. And this is coming from Mr. Simon Yenwa. He says, good morning, Akable and Beatrice. Student hooliganism, especially in the final years, becoming unbecoming. To me, this is because GS and the public in general have overpampered these students. The claim has always been that they are underage, which emboldens them to cause whatever destruction, especially on completing their WASI. Stringent measures are actually needed to serve as deterrent. As for the Salaga baby theft case, I believe the health personnel within the ward were a bit negligent. Baby theft didn't just start at Salaga. It has been reported all over the country, and they should have been more alert. Nevertheless, the security situation needs to be improved in our health facilities. Coming from Simon Yenwa.
Interesting views there, and thank you to all of you who called to share your views with us on this very important topic. Special good morning going out to my colleague Felix Nyameche Sapon, lawyer as well, and your family, the Sapons. Good morning to all of you. I understand you guys are watching this morning. Thank you for watching us always. And to all the others who are commenting on, they are commenting on my outfits actually.
Yes, I was going to say you look like you'll be going to the mosque this morning.
Okay, so it's actually, the outfit is actually by Fugu Factory. Fugu Factory, and sponsored by my very, very good friend Komladum. It was actually a present he got me for my birthday last month. Komladum, my former colleague we're at Multimedia.
Currently at BBC,
currently
right?
with the BBC, yes. A very good friend of mine. He got me this from Fugu Factory to celebrate my birthday last month, and I've been keeping it for a while. I just decided to spring it up this morning. So thank you very much to Komla and Fugu Factory as well for this outfit.
Yeah. And let me remind you that you can always pick up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of Peck Milk Shortcake. It is just pure delight. And you can find this in all grocery shops near and far from you. You're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, Joseph Akable, and we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us.
By Abraham Maleba is Director General National Road Safety Authority, legal practitioner with the National Democratic Congress as well. Senior, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning to you. But there's something which is disturbing me. You know, we are currently playing the World Cup. But the developments there are not, what I would say, uniting. Football unites the world.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing, and you know, FIFA has also said that football should be insulated from politics. But the way and manner in which this year's World Cup is going, particularly for the host nations, denying participants, and when I say participants, referees, footballers, who are subjected to some inhumane searches, some denying. I'm not talking about those who will not correctly fill their forms, but people who genuinely have got visas to attend to their nations are denied. And FIFA is not worried about this. I think that it is important for FIFA to insist that countries that will not open their doors, and I'm talking about future, open their doors to welcome, you know, the actors, the footballers, those who are the officials. Yeah. If they won't open their doors for them, then they have no right to host the tournament, and only give it to countries that are prepared to open their doors, because football unites. What is happening now, this year's FIFA has divided a lot of people. Somalia, the referee,
yes,
you see how he took FIFA on and said it's not money that he wanted, because they were saying that they will placate it with some compensation. Iraq is complaining about searches. Senegal players were kept for so long. I think this year's FIFA, this year's World Cup has not done good to the world of football. And I am highly against what is happening. But it appears the current president of FIFA is
playing politics.
He can be fingered in this because he's not standing for football. He's supposed to stand for football. What he's doing by being silent and saying that FIFA has no opportunity or FIFA has no right to interfere in the visa applications, that is not what we are talking about. We are talking about once you agree to host the tournament, you must be prepared to allow the actors to come and perform for all of us to see.
I mean, because I can't imagine a situation if FIFA says they don't decide immigration issues. Imagine if maybe Canada decides not to give visas to 20 of the 26 players of a country. What happens?
Yeah, especially if they are going to play.
They are going to play. So like Ghana was going to play in Toronto and they decided that they are not going to give visa to 20 of our 26 players. Well, it actually means that we can't play the game.
Yeah, of course.
So I agree that FIFA cannot say that they don't have an interest or a say.
Can't say that.
I mean, I think at a starting point, before they decide on who hosts, there should be that understanding that in a very minimum, the actors will be allowed in.
Yes.
Because, I mean, and I've seen it happen to Cote d'Ivoire as well, and a couple of other countries here and there. These are people who obviously they are going in there to play football.
Yeah, it's some 2-3 hours. They are gone. Yeah.
I mean, even some of our colleagues who went to cover the game, I was talking to one of them. At the time I was going to bed, they had just finished the game in Toronto. The next morning, when I texted that, how is Canada? She said, I'm in Boston now.
Yeah.
She had left. So virtually by the time I woke up here in Ghana, she had left. So it's something that, it's a conversation that we need to have. But I don't know what you think of the Black Stars performance.
What is important is that what is important is that we scored. But I think moving forward, you see, sometimes you should be able to tell some players, sit down. I'm telling you, sometimes, you see, because look at the guy who came in, that Santi guy. I mean, he was the game changer.
Yeah.
So he was sitting there. He was just sitting there. And he changed the game one time. I'm just hoping that he will start the next match because, I mean, the next match is going to be more intense. It's going to be more...
I watched the England versus Croatia. I think we have a problem on our hands.
You want to give up now?
Yeah, we have a problem on our hands.
No, don't give up, don't give up.
Our coach has not been with the team for long. And even the friendly matches, he wasn't in some of them.
Just the last one.
The Wales one,
yes.
So he's now testing his players using this World Cup. So he should start with those who ended the match, and then I can see us doing well. But with England, if we do not up our games, I'm not sure we can hold Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, or even Rashford. The two centre-backs must be up and doing. They must bring on their A game, because those players that I've mentioned can take on any defense in the world and they will be successful. So to reduce maybe the score line against us, whilst we also try to score, our centre backs must play above themselves on that day. Yeah. And unfortunately, our best centre backs are not in this tournament. That's the problem.
But I think the two performed creditably well in the first game.
They did well.
In the first game against less fancied opponents, but against England, Harry Kane, Anthony Gordon, Rashford, Madueke, Saka, Harry Kane. Oh goodness, I think we're in trouble, but we'll be fine. Let's see how
God of football will favor Ghana.
Football can always be funny when you're on a pitch. So let's see how things play out there. Let's get into the discussion now, and we are starting off the conversation with the Wontumi plea bargain talks that have started. We know that the court has. Once the court was notified, the court says they've been given some time. They're supposed to get back to the court. I think around July 6th, they're with an update on whether an agreement they've been able to reach an agreement, and that will enable the court decide whether that will be the end of the case or we can go a step further. And there are some interviews that we got yesterday that I want to bring to you. First is the interview of Samuel Atachian, because it still concerns Chairman Wontumi. He's the lawyer for Chairman Wontumi in respect of the Samra Boy case that is taking place. And Mr. Atachian has been raising some concerns about the 3rd July judgment day that the court had indicated it was proceeding with. You know, when the arguments were had about whether Andy Appiah should withdraw from the matter or not, eventually the court came out and took the view that, well, there's nothing like a formal appearance that is filed in a criminal matter, and so because of that, you don't need a court's permission to step away from the case. We know that the court did indicate that if the new lawyers are minded to file an address, which the court is not bound to rely on, the court must not insist on you filing same. The court said that the 3rd July remains the date for the judgment. Samuel Atachian addressed the media on what his next steps look like yesterday.
I've taken over the criminal case that lawyer Appiah Kubi was handling. That's what I've done. But the rest of the cases are not with me.
Counsel, is it the case that with the Samra Boy case that the dates for the judgment were scheduled to July 3? With you taking over the case now, does it change the timelines?
I will play with the court for that. Because if you want to have fair trial and if you want our input as part of the thinking of the judge, I believe that we should enlarge time so that we'll be able to do what is necessary.
So that's Samuel Atachian there. He's a lawyer for Bernard Boesiako, Chairman Wontumi, in respect of the Samra Boy matter. We can now listen to Andy Appiah Kubi, who represents Chairman Wontumi in the other cases, and specifically he was speaking about the Exim Bank matter after court proceedings where the court had said that, well, it's adjourning the matter for the discussion that they want to reach some form of agreement with the state. They should have that discussion and report to the court after the discussions are concluded.
As promised, it was a very swift interaction with the court. Both the Attorney General and Counsel for accused persons agreed that since we have initiated plea negotiations, it is only by law prudent for the court to give us an adjournment until we come to inform the court of developments. And by law, we are entitled to 30 days of plea negotiations. So we agreed to take the 6th of July to come to the court to inform the court of progress so far in the plea negotiations. We are very hopeful that by the time we come to the court on the 6th, we will have made some progress and inform the court of what issues are left outstanding for us to clear and to file our plea agreement in the court. The mood of the court and the predisposition of counsel on both sides suggests that we will be able to reach an amicable settlement quickly for us to file a plea agreement that will bring the matter to finality. We are, as usual, very...
That's Andy Apia could be there, and you heard him make reference to 6th July as the date that they're supposed to give the court an update on what they've been able to do in terms of the discussions so far. Maybe let me start with Ebo in the middle, but just before then, Kofi Tonto is with a new patriotic party. He's joined us in the studio as well. I think I saw his name on the list, the newly reconstituted Dr. Baumia team.
I'm not aware of any list.
You've not seen that list?
No.
It's online. I've seen it.
Okay.
Your name is... I think your name has been put against protocol. That's what I saw on graphic this morning. But good morning.
No, actually, good morning. I lost my uncle, so we'll be having the 1 week tomorrow. So I've been very involved in it.
Our condolences.
Yeah, thank you. So I haven't really been online much. Basically, more focused on that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Let me start with Ebo. And Ebo, I mean, last week we had the whole conversation about Chairman Wontumi and what was playing out. I mean, 1 week on, the lawyer was not allowed to step out from the matter. Basically, the court said that, well, if you want to step out, you can step out. You don't have to come and access. A new lawyer has been appointed. The new lawyer is also now saying that, well, we need a bit of time. We need a bit of time to do what we can do. Then in respect of the other one too, the discussions are to commence. The Exim Bank matter discussions are to commence. I heard from Chairman to me actually with the week as well. He was talking about the farms that he had wanted to do and how the farms were flooded and all of that. Very interesting conversation that is taking place, explaining his side of the story and what he thinks had gone wrong and why he's trying to have the matter resolved in that manner. What are your initial thoughts on what has played out in the last 7 days?
I think talking about this issue again and again becomes a problem for me. My position will not change. I'm of the view that this plea bargain thing is not going to help us unless we properly structure it, as I put it last week. And let me say this: you see, if you don't take care, this plea bargain thing will become a cheap escape route for elite corruption in this country. And that is why we have to be very careful in the way we handle it. Listen to the MPP report, the argument they make that Dr. Kwame Dufour was given that opportunity. So now it's like they have reference points. They can easily make reference to Dr. Kwame Dufour's issue and demand. But I've told you, some time ago I said it, when that law was passed in 2022, I told you last time that they knew they were looting this country. And so they needed escape routes. And that is why we shouldn't allow that thing to happen. That you can loot and come back and say, okay, what I looted is here. If you can take it and leave me, then I'll be okay. It's not going to augur well for the development of this country. If you keep that in our books without making it punitive enough, without making it tight enough, I don't think, as I said last week, I don't think it should be the Attorney General to sit down with the accused person to discuss and to agree on what to pay and what not to pay. And I want to double down on what I said last week, that it should be stated black and white in our books. And that will be deterrent enough for people who want to steal and be pushing for plea bargain. So I really don't know what to say about this issue again. I think if we are waiting to see what will come out of this negotiation or discussion between Attorney General and the lawyers of Wontumi, but it's not something that we should encourage in this country. I don't think we should encourage in this. If you're going to do it, let's make it punitive enough. Because you see, corruption is so expensive. I don't know. This morning, you see, the second topic we are going to discuss is related to corruption. It's so expensive that if you want to solve it, you don't have to be treating it with kid gloves. You should be very harsh on it when you are handling the issue of corruption, and especially elite corruption in this country. You can't have a situation where the principle of equality before the law is thrown, outside through the window when it comes to the ordinary Ghanaian. There's no equality before the law. If you compare if you compare how people get 10 years, sometimes 8 years, 6 years for stealing plantain, goat, and maybe mobile phone, and so far, look at the cases, an amount of money involved. Plea bargain, or they will find a strategy to delay the cases in court. It doesn't augur well. It doesn't show a good picture. And so I want the court. That's why I saluted the judge, the judge that is sitting on the Saman Boy issue. I saluted him because we need his kind. We need more of his kind in this country. I mean, criminal cases of that nature should not go beyond 1 year. 6 months, we are done with it. Or 1 year, we are done with it. But they always find a way to delay the cases and always find, so that then by the time 6 years, 7 years, then the case would have been watered down. And so we won't get the kind of results you want to get. I believe the route we need to go is to have a special court to deal with some of these cases so that within 1 year, 6 months, we are done with you, go. Well, if you are free, go. If you are not free, go and serve your sentence. Or if you are going to pay, then the plea bargain thing is well structured. Deterrent enough. Countries are fighting corruption. Look at Ethiopia, the way they are fighting corruption. I've been saying it here. They have even passed a law that goes back 10 years. They said the law should be proactive, right? But they have passed a retroactive law that goes back 10 years. And when the question was raised about the retroactive nature of the law, the court said corruption is a special canker. And so when we are dealing with, we need special law to deal with it. We can't use our laws to fight corruption successfully. I'm telling you. And it's quite disturbing, especially when it involves politicians. And strangely, they are the ones who pass the law also. So I really think we need to be very serious about our approach, to this fight against corruption. I am not happy with this delayed tactics and this plea bargaining thing that people want to just say. At least if you're going to grant the plea bargaining, plea bargain, there should be the person must serve some time in prison as well. And a reduced sentence, if you are supposed to ordinarily would have been given maybe 10 years, it can serve like 6 or 5 years in prison, in addition to the money you pay. That should be the way forward. We can't be tolerating things like just go and pay maybe 60-40 or maybe 70-30. No. We cannot pay now full amount, and I want to repeat what I said last week, pay full amount, pay punitive interest, which is higher than the prevailing market interest rate, then serve some reduced sentence as well. That is where when people are saying...
As far as you are concerned, if whatever the agreement is reached, if it does not conform in this manner, you don't think the court and the state for that matter should accept it?
Then what would be the results in our fight against corruption?
I mean, but in the end, we need money.
No, you need money. You see, it's because you need money.
Sometimes court cases, the lawyers will tell you it's like you are rolling a dice. You can't be too sure.
You see, that's where I have a problem with this country.
Because sometimes on pure technicality, you may have a good case, but it ends up going out of the window. So if there is the opportunity for someone to say that, well, for some reason, I think we should have a discussion.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're going to have discussion relative to plea bargain, I'm saying that plea bargain, the person stealing or looting should know that This is what the law says about plea bargain. That when I'm caught and I want to go in for plea bargain, I don't want to go into prison, I want to go for plea bargain, this is what is in for me. It shouldn't be that now, if they go and discuss, Attorney General says, okay, pay 50% and go scot-free. What kind of fight is this against corruption that we are fighting? So I'm a bit, I'm a bit disturbed in the way we've allowed things to happen in this country. Either we take that law out or properly structure it so that it will help us to fight corruption. I don't want to. And on the issue of Sam Amboy, I mean, I can't speak for the judge. The judge knows what he's doing, but I don't think the delayed tactics should be entertained. See, we should move forward as a nation. Let's clear things and move forward as a nation. In this country, if there's truly there's supremacy of the law, there's equality before the law, let the law work. The same way a goat stealer goes to jail, let the politician also go to jail. They are not better human beings than the ordinary Ghanaian who sometimes they're even accused wrongly. Sometimes they've not done the thing because they don't have lawyers. They go and serve they go to prison, serve years in prison. But these ones, we know they've stolen, but because they can get lawyers, and they use their political party lawyers. It's a whole clique. It's a cabal.
Party lawyers.
It's a cabal. You see, they know what they are doing. You see, you still come to court.
They are some of them are top of their profession.
My brother. Why you see?
If you have a situation,
why is it that always they get it's the political party lawyers who go and defend them?
But what do you mean by political party lawyers?
Atachia and Apia could be these politicians. They are all politicians.
Yes,
they are all politicians.
Just like how doctors are politicians, engineers.
Oh, my brother. You see, no, let's not run away. You see, let's say things as they are. If you don't stop some of these things, then we shouldn't expect development as a country. Because think about what corruption takes away every year, amount of money that is stolen from our national coffers. Vis-a-vis what could have been done with that kind of money. We are talking about teachers, we are talking about doctors, we are talking about... And the same politician will complain that teachers are not being paid, doctors are not being paid. And they know some of their members came to office just to loot. They know, but even when they are caught, they will go and defend them in court. And even when the court wants to fast-track issue, they will have a problem with court for fast-tracking the issue. Can you imagine? The court wants to fast-track issues so that you can move forward. They will have a problem. They will want to use delayed tactics. Certain people, allegedly corrupt people, and it's not good for this country. I mean, I don't really.
Okay.
I don't really know what to say.
Let me come to Kofi now. And Kofi, last week there's a question I asked when Kwesi Kwarteng was here last week. Same question to you first. I was asking him about, as a party, the NPP, what do you make of what is playing out in the Wontumi matter within the context of the fact that I remember concerns have been raised about whether the NPP administration, there were corrupt activities that took place. The NPP, we even heard President Akufo-Addo say that, well, whatever role he played, be ready to account for it. Now, we've heard you say that oral is witch hunting, it's a witch hunting that is taking place. Now, one of your own says that, well, I'm being prosecuted, let's have a discussion, let's try resolve it. How do you put all of that together?
Okay, a very good morning to you and to my senior colleagues here, lawyer Amaliba and then Ebo, and then to yourself as well. But Blay, you report from the court, is that not so?
Yes, I used to.
In fact, yeah, I used to, because I remember listening to you a lot from the court. So I was expecting that you will hold Ebo a bit more accountable, in the sense that his commentary presupposes that Wontumi is a thief. And I think that's worrying. This is a very big platform. And then lawyer Amaliba is here. Lawyer, correct me if I'm wrong. Someone going into a plea bargain does not necessarily mean the person has admitted.
In fact, we discussed that even before he came. We actually discussed
exactly.
that.
Exactly. In fact, people go into plea bargain when they even think they will not be fairly treated by the court. There are various reasons why people go into plea bargaining. So it is very important, Ebo, that we use this platform to educate Ghanaians.
Say what you want to say.
No, it's not. It's
I'll
not.
respond.
No, you can respond. But the point is, I will also not allow you to misinform the Ghanaians. The fact remains that plea bargaining does not necessarily mean the person is guilty. It's a mechanism. And in fact, the argument is that when you go to the US, the citadel of democracy, plea bargaining is one of the tools they use. These are facts. Now, if I were Wontumi, I'll go for plea bargaining as well. Do you know his shoes, the shoes that he wears, have been confiscated? Do you know his clothes? Atari Awoshekra, the government have confiscated them. How would you feel if the government says that you are quote unquote corrupt, you've caused financial loss or whatever, and they go to the extent that they take away your clothes, your dignity? Is that how you want?
How is that? They took his shoe away.
I'm telling you.
How?
I am telling you.
Who did that?
Go. What do you mean by who? I'm not going to answer to you. I'm not going to answer to you.
Let's do this. I think we should allow him.
Let me talk.
Him to flow. At any point,
his cars.
Let's make notes.
His cars, 17 cars have been seized. It was in your studio here, where a government spokesperson said that even his momo. If I'm lying, telling me I was sitting here and the person was sitting here. That even his momo.
Those ones are understandable. But when you see
please, lawyer, please. I am telling you, do you think I'll come and sit on a big platform and fib?
Council, just hold on. Just hold on. Let him go. Yeah, Kofi go.
Frozen.
Look,
but
a government comes into. I'm telling you, I didn't, lawyer. I didn't just come and sit here today. I have done my engagement. I don't provide evidence to you. I've spoken to those I have to speak to. And I'm making this comment with all the courage I can muster because I am reliably informed. Why? The person went to, was it Yoko that he went to, was kept there for some time to the detriment of his health. Didn't we all see? The point I am making is that if I were Wontumi, I would equally go for a plea bargaining because it is clear that he's not being prosecuted, he's being persecuted.
I mean, but the question that comes up is that why is he not going for a plea bargain in respect of the other matters then?
But this is the case. Look, I mean, are you going to tell Wontumi how to go about his legal cases?
The rationalization that you are offering.
The question is, we are discussing a particular case.
Yeah, I'm coming. The rationalization you are offering that because of what has happened to him.
And I'm also telling you that Wontumi reserves the right to go about his cases individually as possible. You cannot use the same strategy for every legal case. Okay. You know this, Blade. Even procedural matters, how you go out, is different for every case. So you cannot expect Wontumi to do the same for every case. So that's a non-starter. Let's not even go there.
To the extent that the point being made is that is how he's been treated.
Because irrespective of the denominator being the same, he still has the right to prosecute his agenda differently based on what is going to give him the optimal results. So it doesn't change anything. Now, Wontumi takes a loan from a bank, a government institution for that matter, to go into farming. Okay? The bank participates in that process. In fact, when banks and institutions that give loan, before they give loan, they have a whole actuarial section that determines and assesses the risk of the person who's coming to borrow the money. To the extent that even the farms that he did, the bank appointed a farm manager to actually do the farming, and then another farm manager to report on the performance of the farm and report back to the bank on a monthly basis. So, how is it that all of a sudden a government comes into power and of all the loans that Exim banks gave, Wontumi is the only person? In any case, my brother, if an individual goes into a transaction with a bank, whether a private bank or a public bank, and the bank feels that it has been cheated or the bank feels that I have defaulted on my loan, whose responsibility is it to go after the money or to take me to court? I'm asking you, Blake. Help me. Let's help Ghanaians. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the bank itself or is it another state institution? Do you know the bank has a legal department? So why hasn't Exim Bank in itself taken Wontumi to court to say that Wontumi, we think you have defaulted on your loan. We are taking you to court to take our money. What about all the other people who borrowed money from Exim Bank? Are we to say that every single one of them had no issues except for Wontumi? In any case, was it Wontumi who took the loan from the bank or was it a company called Wontumi Farms? And Blay, you know that in this country, limited liability absolves the individual. Is that not the case?
I mean, yes, that is the general position.
That is the rule. It's not the general position. That is the law.
It's the general position. It's the general position.
Okay.
Calm down.
Okay. What is the
general position?
What does that mean from the
I'm saying that there's a separate legal personality.
Okay.
There are instances where the court pierces the veil. That's a fact.
Okay.
So it's the general position that a company has a separate legal personality, but there are instances where the court can decide to treat the promoters, owners, shareholders of the company as being the same, depending on the facts surrounding it.
And what are the facts around on this case? That the court is piercing the veil.
I'm coming there. Just because you make the discussion as a simple loan transaction. What's your response when you hear the prosecutors tell the court that he presented a document which bore the title receipt to the bank? The presented document has evidence that he had purchased 4 million cedis worth of agricultural equipment and machinery for the farm. The bank relies on that document to advance more funds to him for the project. The document was not a genuine purchase receipt at all. In fact, the prosecutors say that it was a forged document. It was originally a pro forma invoice issued by the Kasama Enterprise to A1 when he asked for about the price of the items, price quotations. He then now takes the document. The state says that he forges it, makes changes to it, and presents it as evidence of purchase.
Okay.
Are these facts that you can simply say it's a loan transaction?
Hold on. No, I'm not simply saying it's a loan transaction.
No, that's the argument you've been advancing so far. You said that if someone has gone for a loan from an institution, who has the responsibility of recovering the loan?
Yeah.
I mean, but these are facts that make it a bit
we are
more...
not talking about who has the responsibility of recovering the loan. You are giving me what the state is accusing Wontumi of.
Yes.
The argument I made was that if the bank feels that Wontumi has defrauded them, does the bank not have a right to take Wontumi to court? Or is it a separate state institution that takes
I mean, the
Wontumi
bank has the right to walk into the police station, Yoko, everywhere, and report the matter that we suspect a crime has been committed in relation to this money. And state institutions can investigate and prosecute.
So you are telling me that of all the bank transactions they have done, they've not taken any single person to Yoko except for Wontumi.
I cannot know for a fact from here. I cannot know for a fact from here. But what I know for a fact, what I can speak to for a fact is that I'm saying that these are the facts that we know. And I'm saying that is it fair to make it in a manner that you are making like a simple loan transaction?
But Blay, what do you expect me to do? You see, you didn't get the underpinning of my argument. The underpinning of my argument is that I believe strongly that the person is being persecuted, not prosecuted. And that certain instances have proven that this is persecution. And that is why I went to the extent of telling you some of his things that have been confiscated. So don't miss my point. I know.
I'm listening to you perfectly. I'm not missing your point.
No, but you are missing my point in that you are losing the context of my argument. The context of my argument is persecution versus prosecution. That an individual may be persecuted given who the individual is.
Maybe let me ask this differently.
All right.
What would you have preferred to be done in this situation with what we know so far?
Preferred by who?
In terms of recovering the money by the bank, whatever parties involved.
What I am saying is that if a bank feels that somebody has engaged in fraudulent activities, especially where it is also emerging that the bank was actively involved in the farming and that the bank appointed farm managers and then other individuals to overlook the performance of those activities. And now the bank comes to tell me that irrespective of my 2 farm managers who were there, one who is participating in the actual farming and one who is watching the performance of the farming progress and even the transactions they have to do. Now the bank tells me that irrespective of these 2 people who were there, one to me committed a fraud. Then I ask myself, what is the competence of the bank in supervising their own activities?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't not baffle you that, I mean, if I come to take a loan from you, you appoint 2 people to supervise my activities. Then later, you come and tell me that I've defrauded you. What were your 2 people doing?
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. And so I have every right to raise doubts about what is happening.
Okay. All right. Let me come to Council Across. I mean, what do you make of the want-to-me situation?
I've been smiling at his submissions. You know, forgery is a criminal offense. Forgery is a criminal offense. And when it comes to crime, it is the state that prosecutes, not a bank. It doesn't also matter whether your 2 officials were sleeping in the farm. It doesn't matter. Once forgery has been discovered subsequently, you are gone. And you are now for the court. So that answers him. I answer question, sure. The next one is, a plaintiff is the one who chooses his victim. I can see all of you commenting, plucking my mangoes. I can choose to sue just one. It's my wish. In law, the plaintiff chooses his victim. Should I repeat that? Mm-hmm. You can all jump into my compound and pluck mangoes, but I choose the one I want to sue. It's my choice. So the argument that is it only, and it could also be it is only him who defrauded the court, the bank. But his argument that is it the only one who defrauded the bank? Yes, there can be 20, but it's the prosecutor who chooses his victim, and it is allowed in court. Now, I want to have several cases. Are we talking about what is this?
We are talking about
the plea bargain thing. Yes. Plea bargain, again, you plead, it affords the accused person the opportunity to plead guilty in exchange for 3 things. So when you say that he's not guilty, he's guilty. In exchange of 3 things. 1, charge bargaining. Charge means the charges that they will send to court and say, you did this and this. The one you said defrauding. Charge, it affords him to now go into 3 things. Charge bargaining, sentence bargaining, and non-prosecution bargaining. Charge bargaining means what? They will substitute a lesser offense for the offense that you are being charged with. That's charge bargaining. Then, sentence bargaining, they will replace a smaller or lesser sentence for a bigger one for you. And non-prosecution bargain is when they will withdraw the charges completely or they won't even send you to court. In this case, we don't know which of the 3 he's opting for. But I know non-prosecution bargain will be out, so it will be the 2. Charge bargaining and the bargaining for reduction of sentence. When this happens, they are given 30 days, and the court has actually given them 30 days. What they are going for is just to update the court. You have 30 days within which to complete your plea bargaining, or you come out with a plea bargaining agreement. When you fail to complete the bargaining within that period, the court will proceed. You get it? The court will proceed. The court will not wait for you. Nonetheless, while the court continues with the hearing of the case, the two of you can still be bargaining outside, behind the court. And when you finally succeed, you can come back and announce to the court. The judge has the right to, as it were, refuse to adopt the plea bargaining agreement, provided in the wisdom of the court, the agreement is unfair to the people of this country. Now, I can see that because this matter is between the Republic versus Wontumi and Chubosiato, I can see that, and that is your lay of fears, I can see that the Attorney General will not do this all by himself. The state must be involved. The state is represented by the government. Now, don't forget that what is the rationale for plea bargaining? It is also to cut down on long trials, to cut down time wasting, to ensure that the state is able to conserve and reserve resources. That's the essence of plea bargaining. Plea bargaining for you is not only available to rich people, it is available to any accused person who desires to trigger the process. Then also, the issue of directors, and you rightly corrected him. Directors of companies can be sued if it comes to light that directors are culpable in the action. Who went and forged the document? It's somebody called Wontumi. The company had no legs.
I mean, those are the allegations.
Allegations.
Those are the allegations, yeah.
The company has no legs. That building or that entity or that institution has no legs to walk, to go and do the forgery. Who went and did that? If he's a director, the director can be sued. Why? We're in this country. Some people who were host and a guest appeared on a program on the Radio Gold. Didn't they include the directors? So, what is different now? What is different now? I don't want to repeat what I said last time. The MPP are thinking they are superhuman beings in this country. They are untouchable. The directors of Radio Gold were older, richer, more respected in society than Wontumi. But the court, at the Supreme Court, they were made to pay fines. So what is different?
I mean, the MPP will reply that, what about the possibility that he gets a deal similar to what, for instance, the Dr. Dufo agreement, for instance, because that was not done under this particular law. It was not taken to court. The state can say that, bring the money, we'll withdraw the charge, we'll move on with your life.
Was that under plea bargaining?
No.
No, under plea bargaining. And there are rules governing plea bargaining. There's even a practice direction from the Chief Justice on plea bargaining. So they'll be guided by all these things, you know. I want to say that the state can cut its losses and say that, look, this man owes us 30 what? USD? 30 million or something. Can he bring all that money back? Because we need money to establish 24-hour markets, or we need money to recruit more teachers. We need money to build hospitals, to complete the Afari hospital. The state can look at all this and say that, let's go for our money and then reduce the charges. Let's go for our money and then reduce the sentence. So it is not as if he has been left off the hook entirely. He has not been left off the hook entirely. It is to reduce his sentence, it is to reduce the charges so that the state too can cut its losses. That is the essence of plea bargaining.
Okay.
Beyond that, I do not think that there is anybody targeting Wontumi. If Wontumi didn't go for a loan and allegedly forge a document, he won't be in court. He is here. Was he not the one who was? No, he's not the one. There was one person who went to Radio Go and said they should ban him with oil, petrol, NDC wins. He's not the one. So, a lot of people have said things about the NDC, but they are working freely. But Wontumi has committed crime against the state.
He's alleged to have committed crimes against
the state. And that is what we should look at. That is all that we should look at.
I mean, would you, as a lawyer, do you find it surprising if we are relying on what he's told us to learn that his personal effects?
I'll be surprised. That's why you've reminded him. I'll be surprised. You can have your assets frozen, your money frozen, assets frozen, but it does not include the things you wear and the tools you work with. Kafu Didi? Or Kafu Didi? Or Kafu Didi, okay. It doesn't matter. But the Kafu is there. Yeah. So it doesn't include the tools you work with. It doesn't include the clothing you wear. Because they won't. Why? They won't allow you to come out naked. Because appearing naked in public is an offense in itself. You know that? Yes. In our criminal offense law. So, as for assets frozen, bank accounts frozen, Momo frozen, it's within the law.
Okay.
But I'll be extremely surprised if, and the court has not said that. I've not heard the court say that they should confiscate his clothing. Okay. As for the cars, they can confiscate them because they can be seen as proceeds of ill-gotten wealth for the time being. But your clothing, your shoes, but why? If that were the case, Wontumi should have been walking barefooted. Because any shoe he buys, they will confiscate. Have you seen him caught walking barefooted? Have you seen him naked?
Okay.
Have you seen him?
Kofi.
You get my point?
Yes, I get it.
Because if the target was to collect his shoes, the officers will be by his gate, his house. Anytime he buys a shoe, they will remove it. So I will be surprised
it's like saying
to hear.
Every time Wontumi is in the car, they will confiscate it.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, this is not.
Kofi,
he's using his car.
Let me come to Ebo.
Yeah, no problem.
So that because if I come to you and he says something, you want to respond, we'll do the back and forth.
Fair enough.
So Ebo, I mean, any reactions to the issues that come up?
They also have a second bite.
Let me say this. You see, over the past decade, we've been having serious problems in this country. Unemployment has been a problem. Corruption has been a problem. Poor infrastructure has been a problem. I mean, we've had problems, but the current problem we are dealing with as a nation is a new patriotic party, NPP. You see, it's so sad. They don't see even corruption as a problem. They don't see looting. The way they've plundered this state, they've looted this state. They don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah. And that is a major problem.
Yeah.
That is a major problem.
Accusing of looting. MPP is looting.
Of course.
I'll come to you.
Okay. All right.
You see, people hide under the law or behind the law to say whatever they want to say.
I mean, but
if the word that you want me to use, allegedly. So I've used the word allegedly. So let's.
It's not just that. I mean, to the extent that
I mean,
some of these matters are matters that will now be, some are under investigation, some are now being prosecuted. Can we conclusively put it across? Because if you remember, even I remember during the Kufuor, after the post-Kufuor era, there were a number of appointees from the Kufuor era who were all undergoing prosecution. Eventually, most of them were acquitted.
Now, let me make progress. You see, the company with which Wontumi obtained the loan facility was not in existence at the time the loan was taken. You don't know. You don't know. The company was not in existence at the time the loan was taken. So he forged a document to go and take a loan before the company was registered.
I mean, as for that point, I may disagree with you a bit on that. Because, and senior, you are here. There are instances where the promoters of the company, pre-incorporation contracts, they can go into contracts, get a loan. Once the company is formed, they hand it over. The company basically pass more or less a resolution to adopt the contract. So as for that, I can disagree with you on that point.
So do you know that is what you are saying is that?
I don't know, but I'm speaking to the general view
has come out
that
strongly.
the company cannot get a loan when it does not exist.
It has come out strongly. One of the things Attorney General has raised is this particular issue. Now let me give you a picture of what Wontumi said he was going to do. He said he had acquired 100,000 acres of land and was going to grow maize, right? Maize farm of 100,000 acres. Do you know if one football field is 1.76 acres? One football field.
1.76
acres. If you divide 100,000 by 1.76, you get 56,800 football fields. So the farm that Wontumi said was going to do would be 56,800 football fields. So you can imagine if you had done that, the kind of maize production would have had in this country.
Okay.
No. Imagine if you had done that, the number of people we would have employed, the taxes you would have paid to these states.
But was there a land like that?
Now, how can this land, 56,800 acres of football fields, will be swept away by one rainfall? I mean, what kind of stuff? You see, sometimes let's be serious in this country.
Okay.
Now let's be serious in this country. Now he himself has granted an interview. He said one rainfall carried 56,800 acres of land, football fields, away just like that.
I don't know that.
No.
I don't think they clear. How would the water carry the land?
No, he himself has said he carried all the maize away. He himself has said.
Yeah, but it means that is possible. There could be flooding. I mean, we don't know even where the land is located. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I get your point you're making. Let me come to Kofi.
First of all,
go ahead.
Even if someone has 1,000 acres, most of the time they don't even farm every single inch of that land.
Okay, let's give 56,000. Let's remove the 800.
So for this hasty conclusion, just doing simple arithmetic and ascribing something to it, that's so basic.
Okay, 10,000.
Allow him.
You see, the point I made, I think respectfully, lawyer, it got lost on you. It's not. I'm not a lawyer, but at least I know that the state cannot prosecute every human being. So the state prioritizes issues. I know, lawyer. I know that. But I started my argument with a premise that if I were Wontumi, I will equally seek plea bargaining because I feel that I'm being persecuted. Of course, you can peel the veil, you can do all manner of legal gymnastics, which the laws allow. But it doesn't take away the fact that individuals can be targeted. Do you know his radio stations, they've all been shut down? Is that not a way for him to eat? Or no, so
is that the first time they've shut down radio stations? What are you talking about?
So interestingly,
what are you talking
about? His radio stations in Kumasi have been shut down.
Are you superhuman beings? Are you superhuman beings?
Please, let's allow him.
That's a problem. MPP is a problem.
Let's allow him.
You have become a problem to this country.
Kofi, go ahead.
Is it the first time radio station have been closed in this country?
It is not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last. But if a particular person of interest, his radio station in Kumasi, his radio station in Takrade, his radio station in Accra, they've all been shut down. Yes, I will suspect something. I will have suspicion. I will have the belief that this is beyond prosecution, but this is persecution. That is the argument I am making. So don't give me legal lectures. It is not about legal lectures. It is about a perception being created that a particular person is of interest, and we must do everything to get to that person. And I've given you instances where I feel.
What is so special about Wontumi that the state will go after? What is so special about him?
There's nothing special about him.
What is so special about him? He's a citizen of this country.
He's an ordinary person like us. No problem.
So why are you getting that impression?
Allow him to land.
No problem.
Conclude for me.
No problem. You are the saint. You love Ghana more than everybody. You Ebo. You love Ghana more than everybody.
Amen.
Look, the point is this.
Let me say amen to that.
Anybody who is a tad, just a little bit objective, will see through this charade, complete charade, that an individual is being targeted for who he is. Look, you can use all the legal gymnastics to justify whatever you want to justify today. But as time continues to vindicate this, the MPP, to me and other people who have been unfairly targeted, look, to the extent that people have bail conditions of 600 million. 600 million, $60 million. I mean, why? And you think I shouldn't feel that way? You think I shouldn't feel that way? I feel that way. I feel the man is being targeted. I feel other people are being targeted. That is not to say that I don't support the state to go after corrupt activities. I think if the state suspects that there are corruption, the state should go after such people. But I'm not saying that if a bank wants to lodge a complaint or go to police or whatever, they shouldn't. But I am telling you that of their history, of the instances, it becomes bizarre when one person seems to be going through it alone. Let's not lose sight of that.
Okay.
This is not how the law court should work in this country.
But did they forge the document with other people?
That's fine.
No, did they forge the document with other people? So if he's going through alone, because he did it alone. What kind of?
You keep letting him.
I've prompted you several times. I've prompted you several times that at this stage.
Attorney General has taken the case to court.
Just to be clear,
one of the issues forgery, and I'm saying that
yes,
he did the forgery alone. That's why he's in the case alone.
It's an allegation at this stage.
It doesn't matter.
We don't have a finding of facts that he committed the alleged forgery.
I'm saying
it's an
that
allegation at this stage. Let's work within those bounds.
Okay.
Allegedly. Oh, he did the forgery alone. That is why he's in this case alone.
He's part of the persecutors. He's part of the persecutors. He's part of the persecutors. Everything you are doing.
Let Kofi Tonto know that if one person uses his taxi in Accra to commit an offense, the taxi will be impounded. If that same person uses his motorbike to commit an offense in Bolga, it will be confiscated. If that same person uses his radio station in Ho to engage in crime, radio station, whatever it is, or he has not paid his license, it will be impounded or it will be closed down. If that's it, you understand my drift. So it doesn't matter whether he alone, a lot of things is happening to him. Maybe what it is telling you is that that's an unruly person. That's a person who doesn't respect the laws of this country.
I see.
You get my point? So if his radio station, let's find out. Is it about he not paying his license? Because we know that you have to be renewing. Have you asked that question? Have you asked those questions? Stop making convoluted arguments.
It's not convoluted.
That's because one person who engages in several crimes, one person who litters around with crime and go everywhere he goes is crime, will be held responsible.
It should be a matter of concern.
Yeah. So we should say
that
it should be a matter of concern.
So the argument is that, because after his radio station, we already have him for this one. So we should leave him to be committing offense in this one. Can you imagine the logic?
The problem.
What kind of convoluted argument
it's not convoluted.
and logic is this?
It's not convoluted.
Okay.
What kind of thing is
let's do some
you and your party.
What kind of argument is this?
It's an example.
It doesn't make sense at all.
This one from Simon here.
Kofi, be ashamed to be saying this.
You don't understand what Kofi is saying.
This is a persecution.
Competent jurisdiction is trying Wontumi, and Kofi sees that as persecution.
No.
So what is his suggestion? That Wontumi should be allowed to work free in any case. Okay, this one is
when the man was misbehaving everywhere.
Musa Abatua in Asawasi, you say that the justification, you find the justification to be problematic. No individual, regardless of status or political affiliation, should be above accountability. What is important is that due process is followed and that justice is served fairly and transparently. Attempts to politicize or justify wrongdoing only undermine public confidence in our institutions. And you send your regards to the Forestry Commission, Dr. Brown. That is Musa Abatua. You sent that message as well. There's another message here, Erickson Techiman. You say that when you hear the MPP suddenly sermonizing to you that someone seeking plea bargaining doesn't mean he or she has pleaded guilty just because one of their own is facing the law, tell them that is not true. Before the court accepts a plea bargaining, the Criminal and Other Offence Procedure Amendment Act made it abundantly clear that the accused must accept guilt.
Yeah.
And if he or she pleads not guilty, the plea bargain shall be aborted by the court. And you make reference to section 1628. I think last week I made reference to that provision as well. So that is your message that you've also sent in as well. That will be all for this. This discussion.
Please,
yes.
You provide education. What I said.
No.
I chose
changing your position.
I
You
chose.
like that
No, I'm not changing.
you've said
what you wanted to say. So let's move. Then you want to shift goalposts.
When you are caught here, then you move here.
Let's make progress. Let's make progress. Kofi, conclude for that just briefly.
What did I say? I
Just
said
briefly.
if a person pleads guilty, it does not necessarily mean. And you even said you have discussed this here.
No.
Is that not what you said?
Yes, we have.
Because
it doesn't mean that he's guilty.
But it could also mean that he's guilty.
of course,
Yeah.
but it doesn't necessarily mean he's guilty. Am I wrong?
In fact,
There's only one position. The
Am I
person
wrong?
is guilty. That's why
Am I
he's
wrong?
If you're not guilty, why would you want to go for plea bargain? If you're not guilty, why would you want to go for plea bargain?
I think
Plea bargain ultimately leads to being guilty.
No. Stop misleading the law. Don't let him mislead the law. He's not an officer of the law. The law is that
Yes.
simple and short.
Yeah.
Accused pleads guilty in exchange of 3 things.
Yes. But I mean,
Charge.
but senior, the question to be asked, and this is separate from what he's making reference. The question to be asked is that does accepting the guilt under the plea bargain act mean the person committed the offense?
Why would you accept? Why would you accept something you've not done?
Senior, doesn't mean the person committed the offense.
There's no act.
Man, answer.
He knows. In the man,
You see how he's
To find a man's construction on the place.
I cannot tell.
No. But why would you?
Listen to me. I'm saying that before you go for plea bargain, you must plead guilty for 3 things.
That is part of the process.
But why would you accept? Why would you accept something you've not done?
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Please what?
To tell me that, do I know whether he become guilty? You want me to play God? Am I God to know who is guilty and who is not guilty in this country?
Look at you.
Am I God?
Look at what you are doing.
Am I God?
Look at you.
That is it.
I don't behave like the MP.
The law is the law.
That's it by way of this discussion.
You are a persecutor.
This morning. I mean,
You are a persecutor.
It's a discussion. I remember. Yes.
Let him withdraw that.
I won't withdraw anything. You are a persecutor. You've done that on this TV here. You are a persecutor. I'm telling you.
It will come down.
I won't
It will
withdraw
come down.
anything.
It will come down. There's a man who has been listening to us all the time. He's in my area at Ashoman Estates. Whenever I go back, like when I go home and I buy something, he always tells me that, oh, today they didn't fight. 2 weeks ago, he told me today they didn't fight. And I told him that, senior, it's because of the topic. It's because of the topic. Today, when I go back, I'll point it out to him that have you seen that they are fighting today? It happens sometimes, but it's part of it. Let's briefly deal with a very important issue that has come up. The Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has indicated that we have a shortage of about 90,000 teachers. And so he says that Ghana's education sector is grappling with a significant shortage of teachers, estimating that the country currently requires between 50,000 and 90,000 additional teachers to adequately meet the demands of schools across the country. And what is disturbing is that it's not because we don't have teachers. It's mainly because of budgetary restrictions that have made it difficult for government to recruit the number of teachers required to bridge the gap. And he made this disclosure when he was addressing Parliament on Thursday, June 18, during discussions on issues relating to teacher recruitment and staffing within the education sector. I mean, this is a familiar story, even if you talk about even nursing as well. It's also another one that we've seen come up strongly. And so that is an issue that we want to touch on briefly. And I'll start with you, Ebo. I mean,
first topic, Ebo. Second topic, Ebo.
No, because you are smart.
Yes, Ebo.
Okay, so the education, you see, I mean, let's all accept after, is it 69 years? I think we have failed as a nation in respect of the way we've handled issues, the education issues in this country. If after 69 years, we are talking about we not having the ability, in terms of financial ability, to recruit enough teachers, to the extent that we have about 90,000 deficit. That is a huge problem. I mean, this is not just an education issue. This is national development crisis. if you want to overstretch it. Why? Because our development is dependent on our education system. No country can outperform the quality of its education. You will develop on the basis of how you have developed your education sector. Because we are talking about human resource development. We are talking about how our future leaders, how our businessmen, how our politicians are going to be competitive in the long run. Because out there, if you are not moving, others are moving faster. And so competitiveness in this area is very key. That should inform our decisions. That we are building a society or building a nation on the foundation of our education. And therefore, if over the years you have not done much, if over the years you've allowed politicians to loot, some politicians, not all of them, some to loot. Because you see, sometimes when I say it, people say, why do you always? You see, sometimes we know this guy came to office 4 years ago. He could not buy a car tire, but he owns about 5 cars today. This guy could not rent a room. He owns a mansions. We know that if you are to look at it carefully, you can see it's not reasonable that somebody will, 4 years, because his party has come to power, he has become a millionaire or he has become so rich. We know elsewhere they will do serious lifestyle audits. They will find out where you got the money. That is how they're able to mobilize resources for development. But we allow things to go. We'll tax the ordinary Ghanaian, but when the money comes, we use it for something else. And so we waste some of the money, we steal some of the money. I'm speaking from a nationalistic point of view, so Kofi I care less about what Kofi will say. But the issue is, I know because I know what he's going to say. I can predict what he's going to say. So we need to be very serious about it. You see, I think it's about time you considered education as an investment rather than a cost.
Okay.
Like expenditure on education as an investment rather than a cost. And you see, the 90,000 deficit is not the issue. It's not the issue because as we speak, there are students who learn under trees. So 90,000, are we saying they're going to send a teacher to also go and teach under a tree? Do you get the point I'm making? Yes. So it's a broader problem that we need to confront as a nation. And I don't think to say that yes, we have budgetary constraint or budget constraint. It's a matter of scarcity of resources. Resources are not unlimited. Once you have it, if you're not able to properly, distribute or allocate the resources, what is going to happen is that you will have a situation where you will train teachers, they will not have a place, the classroom to teach. You will train nurses, they will not have hospitals to go and work. Because teacher is someone who teaches in a classroom.
Okay.
Nurse is someone who works at the hospital. So as you are training more nurses and teachers, the question is, where are they going to work? So why don't you look at the two together in tandem? That I'm training this number of people, I've made provision, or I have this number of classrooms or hospitals that will be able to accommodate them or employ them. That mismatch is what is killing us. And I think this is one to just look at the numbers and talk about it will not be fair to the issue. It's a broader issue. Our educationists must sit down and provide solutions to this problem. It's becoming unbecoming.
All right, Kofi, how do we get around this situation?
We have a deficit because of what? What is the ministry saying? That
the minister says we don't have the financial space to recruit and pay.
So it's not about facilities necessarily. Even though we have facility challenges, this particular issue is referencing recruitment. Okay. Please, who promised automatic recruitment? Who promised it? Blay. You can help me. Maybe Honorable Amaliba can help me. Who promised automatic recruitment? So, look, stop your lectures.
See, when it comes
this one
to...
want to play politics with it. This one want to play
Please, let's
politics
allow
with
him.
it.
We have very limited time.
No, this one want to play politics with it.
You have 2 minutes.
After 8 years, you want to play politics with this one.
You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
When
Kofi,
President Mahama was playing politics with it, that somebody was not doing it, and when he becomes a president, he will make automatic posting. Was that politics or was that not politics? Then ask yourself. Me, I don't blame anybody. I blame Atoforsen. He's starving the various ministries. Am I the first to say it? A Greek ministry has come out and said all the things the ministry have said about what they have disbursed to them are lies. They are fighting over presidency. Who becomes the next president? And because no, it's not me saying.
Don't do petty.
No, Ebo, let's allow him. You have about a minute more to
look,
Ebo,
my brother.
Doing petty politics.
My brother,
Ebo, please, let's
my
allow him.
brother,
Let's allow him.
Blay.
Yes.
A Greek ministry has come out to tell us that out of their budget of 1.9 billion, only two.
We are talking about education. I could have gone. But do you know what I intended to say this morning? But because there's a topic, I'm limited to the topic.
Ebo,
So
Shadrach says you are distracting the show.
Okay.
I should prompt you.
Out
Shadrach,
of that budget,
please.
only 242 million has been given to them. That's about $24 million for agric, food and agric, our survival, our food security. Why am I making this point? If even our survival is reduced to this level, how much more education? And the ministers are complaining that we are not getting the resources to do our work. The point I am making is that it's not just the teaching industry or the education sector. Every sector is struggling with resources. So the question is, what is the finance minister doing? Why are you not giving the requisite funding for the most important institutions? And that is why I said stop the lecturing, because it comes down to priorities. What is the finance minister prioritizing? You claim you are going to do automatic recruitment. You come in and you are not giving funding to recruit teachers. You claim you are going to do 24-hour economy. You are going to fund the whole funding for the 24-hour economy is 4 billion. 4 billion. As I speak to you, only 11 million has been allocated.
Okay.
So these are real questions of.
If you don't have anything to say, just
that's not fair.
You know,
that's fine. It's okay.
Then we shouldn't come here with topics.
No. It's not fair for somebody to unruly.
Yeah, I mean that.
No.
I've prompted him
unruly.
Unruly.
No, you see.
Let me deal with that. I mean, Ebo, I don't think you were being fair to him
But
at
you
all.
gave us topics.
Yes, I did. I mean,
Did I not?
But the point is that he's advancing his argument in a certain way. We can't control
I'm surprised
the way he should approach it.
But you should allow me to wrap up.
Yes, conclude for me. Just
the
land
point,
for me.
Ebo, that you refuse to understand, which hurts you, is that there are critical sectors of the economy. Of the Ghana that you claim we have to build. Education is one of them. And I am telling you that it's not just education that is suffering from funding. Other critical sectors of Ghana or the economy is equally suffering. And I'm citing examples. And how is that an argument lost on you? I'm surprised.
Okay. All right.
So surprised.
Senior, I'll give you the final word, please.
I think you are over-pampering Kofi.
How is it
Because
over-pampering?
Kofi told Ebo that he was a traitor. What did he say? You were persecutor. And he said you should withdraw. He didn't withdraw. Now the point is this: if you are in government and then you are reckless in your spending, and another government comes, you don't sit by the sideways and start complaining. You sank initially. We thought you had sunk $54 million into a hole. So we said that, even with that, we can come and do something. Later, we discovered that you have sunk $97 million. So reckless. And you are still here saying what? Where is the resources going to come for us to do those things? Huh?
So when you are
it is only when a frog dies.
You didn't know the funding?
It is only when a frog dies that you see its full length. They are now not in government. We have gone to see the coffers. It's dry. And you are sitting here saying that we are doing what? You are not ashamed of yourself. But the resources have not grown in tandem with population growth. You know that. The resources. I've just told you have dissipated resources. You say, the resources have not grown.
Why did Kenofrata run away? Why do you think Kenofrata run away?
Was it not
please don't do the same thing.
To grow our resources,
Kofi, don't do the same thing.
Allow him. Our resources have not grown.
Kofi, allow him to
2 years in.
Kofi, look at him. Senior, conclude from me.
Go and bring Kenofrata and stop what you are doing.
Senior, conclude from me.
So, because of that, you have situations where recruitments cannot be done. The education sector is the highest spender of our consolidated fund. The education before you come to health. But still, even though chunk of money is going there, but still, look at the complaints. So we need to be prudent, and that's where Atufosun comes in.
Yeah.
Prudent.
He's a very smart guy.
Prudence is not holding back. You don't give money to people to chop nyaf like their time. Digging holes. Digging boreholes and saying that they are dams.
So if
you remember, they are one day.
If you give money to Eric Opoku, is that what you are suggesting?
You should understand that we will need to grow the resources and then now distribute them.
All right.
But this is not to say that the finance minister is withholding funds.
We
are in this country, and we saw how this country was run down.
All right.
To the extent that soldiers want to do a coup d'etat, and Akufo-Addo had to go and beg them at the flags out that they should just wait.
So this country cannot. That the whole agric ministry in the fiscal year $24 million. Are you not worried?
Just quick one.
Are you not worried?
Just very brief. Like I don't have time. It's very brief.
You can't even recruit teachers.
No. No. We are talking about resources.
How do you recruit teachers when you have stolen money?
We are talking about financial resources.
Bring finance minister.
Who has stolen money?
Bring your finance minister.
Go and tell your incompetent.
The national service goes
Go and tell your
2.4. 2.4 billion. National service goes names.
That is all
national service goes names alone.
Would allow us this morning. My guests have been Kofi Tonto. Kofi Tonto is with the New Patriotic Party. Ebo Bachman is with the United Party. Abraham Maliba is Director General, National Road Safety Authority. Big Issue, as always, is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. Whether you are aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication operations, supply chain, human resource management, finance, entrepreneurship, innovation or business intelligence, analytics, or you want to advance through our dual MBA or Chartered Manager MBA, University Gold Coast gives you options that match your vision. And if your next step is an MSc in International Relations, Communication, International Marketing, International Law, Security Diplomacy, as well, University of Gold Coast is the place to be. And Big Issue, as always, is sponsored by the University of Gold Coast. We take a quick break. I will be right back with some sports and other interesting interviews that will excite you. Stay tuned in. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind the card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered.